L'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach. We're starting the third page of Yomi Berachot, which is Daf Dalid. The Gemara says here on the top, Benayu Benayahu Ben Yehoyadas is a Sanhedrin. So it says that basically the Jews were suffering from lack of economic growth. King David would say, go to war and get new properties from the enemies of the Jews, expound the boundaries of Israel. But first they would have to go and talk to the general, top general, which his name was Achitophel. Then they would ask the permission of the Jewish Supreme Court, which was symbolized by the greatest, another general, which was also the head of the Supreme Court, the Sanhedrin, Benayahu. And first line, Vavitar. Then the last stage, which they would want to ensure success in war, to gain economic gain, was Aviatar ze Urim v'Tumim. So lucky, and literally it's such a mind-boggling thing that we were able to have a direct line, telephone to God, and ask him through the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol, should we go to war or not? And then the answer would light up on the Kohen Gadol's chest, and that's symbolized by Avitar. Second line, V'chenu omeru benayu ben Yehoyada lakreti balapreti v'lama nikra shemam kretu pleti. Why is the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol called kretu pleti? Kreti shekortim divrehem. Because it tells you exact, it's not ambiguous, it's not gray area. Koret, it's like it cuts the world. It's no wishy-washy. Go to war or don't go to war. You're going to win, you're not going to win, right? Like Rashi says, that this is how the Mefarshim explain it, and pleti shemuflaim b'divrehem. It's really like a miraculous pele, unbelievable thing that we're able to get the answer, know the future through the Choshen Mishpat of the Kohen Gadol. V'achar kach sar seva lemelech Yoav, Amar Rav Yitzchak, v'amar le, Amar Rav Makra. And then they go to the who carries out the war? The top general, which was Yoav ben Tzeruya. How do we know that King David had a alarm clock, which would wake him up exactly at midnight? In Tehillim 57, chapter 57, it says, Ura kevodi, uru hanevel v'kinor, ura shachar. So that's how King David would wake up, and he would say Tehillim, and compose Tehillim and sing Tehillim to God at midnight. Rabbi Zera Amar Moshe La'olam Haya Yodea v'David Nam Havi Yodea. So we were talking about this idea that really, why did Moshe tell the astrologers of Paro Kechatzot, the death of the firstborn will be approximately at midnight? God told him, he's getting directions from God. Didn't God tell him exactly? There's no gray area, gray zone in front of God. God created time. He's the owner of time. So it says really the reason why Moshe changed it and said approximately at midnight and not bechatzot, rather he said kechatzot, was that, so it says, V'keven de David yada kinor lamale le'trumishin. So King David needed it because if King David exactly knew when midnight was, he needed it, like we said a second ago, to act as an alarm clock. The harp. God would send a breeze, and then it would wake him up from his sleep. The reason why Moshe changed it from bechatzot to chechatzot, kesavar shema yitu asnei paro v'yamru Moshe badai. Moshe was worried they would make a mistake. The astrologers would make a mistake, right? Yeah. And they would say this whole thing is fake. So the Gemara learns a very important ethical lesson from here, and that would become a chilul Hashem, because then they would say, they're always, the people that are deniers are always looking for one split inconsistency to say the whole thing is fake. So even if all these hundreds upon hundreds of miracles are happening, but 1 second Moshe was off because of their miscalculation, it would make it like a Chilul Hashem. So Moshe said approximately at midnight. And that's why we learn a practical ethical lesson right before the wide lines. The Gemara says, "The Amar Mar Lamod Leshanecha Lamar Eni Yodea." Always, when in doubt, unless you're 110% sure, say, "I'm not sure. This may be the way." Because if you guarantee something, like we were discussing before, and it comes out to be true, people are going to say, "This guy's a fake. This guy's a liar," right?
Not true.
Right. If it comes out to be not true.
Yeah.
So why jeopardize your integrity and your character, rather than mislead people or make false claims? You could say, maybe it's like this. It's always better to be safe than sorry, and don't make any guarantees that something is truthful. And it's obviously, we're reading Shema, and the whole Masechet Berachot of Shema ends with the 3 words, Ani Hashem Elokechem Emet. It's always important to be integrity and be a truthful person, rather than, God forbid, misrepresent something. Okay, wide lines. Rav Ashi Amar bepalga urta detrei asar nagi arbe asar kai. Moshe was warning the astrologers the night before the death of the firstborn. That's why he said kechatzot, the same time tonight. On the following night, we will experience the death of the firstborn. He was comparing tomorrow night to the night that he was talking to them. So he was warning them 24 hours before. That's why he said kachatzot. Not because he wasn't sure, or God wasn't sure when midnight was. Like we just explained. Ledavid shamra nafshi ki chasid ani. King David boasts that he's a pious person. That's why God should watch over him. In Tehillim 86. Why? What did extraordinary thing above the letter of the Da did David Melech Israel Chai V'Kayam do to make him pious? Rav Yitzchak, Levi and Yitzchak have 2 different reasons. Chad Amar David Lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono shel Olam, Lo chasid ani shekol malchei mizrach u'ma'arav yeshenim ad 3 sha'ot v'ani chatzot halayla akum leodot lecha. He said, look how extraordinary I am. Princes wake up at 9 a.m. I wake up at midnight, 9 hours before they wake up, to write Tehillim and sing your praises. Ve'idach, kach amar David lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This, so said King David to God, Ribono shel Olam, lo chasid ani, shekol malchei mizrach u'ma'arav yoshvim agudoch lichvodam. He says, usually the kings, they all have fun. They have like these social events, and they sit with each other. But King David says, I act like a rabbinical figure to make sure that if a woman sees blood, is this kosher blood that still she's allowed to be with her husband? Or is it blood that would make her a nida and then she has to separate from her husband? Because when a woman gives birth, if it's a miscarriage, or depending on the exact circumstances, King David would always give his time so that the husband and wife would, because he was an extraordinary, he just wasn't a king and a general, but he was an extraordinary big Talmid Chacham. Kedei taher ishar leba'ala. It's a big mitzvah always to clarify that a woman's blood is not really blood that makes her a nida, it's just the blood of birth or whatever, another external thing, and then she could get back and have marital relations with her husband. So King David would devote his time to that. And not only did David wouldn't only trust himself to make halachic rulings, he would also consult with his teacher and mentor Mephibosheth. Ve'omer lo Mephibosheth Rabbi Yafeh dadanti, Yafeh chayati, Yafeh zachati, Yafeh tiarti, Yafeh temeti, ve'lo bashti. King David would say, oh, well, I'm greater, I'm the king. Why should I go to somebody that's maybe younger than me or less prestigious than me and consult with him if I made the right halachic ruling? No. His integrity, he was so humble, David, that he would always back up his opinion with the opinion of his mentor, Mephibosheth, to make sure that he, God forbid, didn't give the wrong halachic authority. You understand? So he asked him, was I correct in making this pure? Was I correct in making this impure? Was I correct in making such a person liable as the judge or unliable? And what does it mean? King David said, I talk next to the kings and I'm not embarrassed. Tanya, lo Mephibosheth. So it says, the Maharsha explains, Mein Malki Rabbanan, the true princes that have the true royalty are the Torah scholars. And King David would always consult with his mentors and not be humble and not be haughty, say, trust himself only and say, I'm the right one. No, let me make sure that this halachic ruling I'm giving, I'll get a second opinion to back me up. And it says, Tana lo Mephibosheth shemo ala Ishboshet shemo, v'lama nikra shemo Mephibosheth shaya mevayish ben David b'alacha. Mephibosheth's name was really Ishboshet. Why would they call him Mephibosheth? Because he used to embarrass King David in halacha. He was a greater Talmid Chacham. Lefichach sachka David v'yatza mimenu kil'av. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan lo kil'av shemo ala Daniel shemo. V'lama shemo kil'av shaya machlim penei Mephibosheth b'alacha. So really, King David, he got rewarded extensively. You know how? By being humble and always asking the opinion of his mentor, Mephibosheth, God gave him a child named Daniel, was one of his descendants. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Daniel was a descendant of King David from the tribe of Yehuda, which a nickname for Daniel was Kil'av.
So was Mordechai.
Yeah. And he would embarrass Mephibosheth because he was so head and shoulders above Mephibosheth in his halachic understanding. Va'alav amar Shalomo b'chokhmato beni im chacham libecha samach libi gam ani. That's what King Solomon was alluding to such a person, that son, if you're so wise, I'm also happy. This was talking about Daniel. It says, I am so proud of my son, and he revenged, so to speak, my embarrassment, because I used to consult with him and he used to embarrass me because he knew more than me. But now in that merit that I was not embarrassed and I had the integrity to make sure that I was in the right and ask a second opinion, God gave me Daniel, which even embarrassed the people that were greater than me. The David Mikaren Lavshe Chasid, but this is a contradiction. Was King David so sure that he was a pious, even above a Sadiq? King David says, I'm not sure. In Tehillim 27, he says, I doubt that I'm going to be in the Gan Eden, in heaven. Lule. So, Tana Mishmei de Rabbi Yossi, Lama Nakuda Lule, Amar David Lefnei Rosh Baruch Hu, Moshe Muftach Nei She'ata Mishalem Schar Tovchim. It's not that I'm doubting that heaven and hell exist. Aval ani eni yodei im neshechel b'nei milav. I don't know if I'm going to be there, be worthy and deserving to be in heaven. Why? Shema yigrom achet. The answer is, of course, somebody that's righteous like King David, we explained, he did so much devotion to God, but you never know, because of sin, one sin could be worth 1,000 mitzvahs or 1,000,000 mitzvahs if there's a chilul Hashem in it. So he said maybe because of that, that would mess up the whole system of him getting to heaven. God guarantees Yaakov that I'm always going to be with you, our patriarch. Yaakov Abinu. He's going to watch over you. And then it says, Yaakov me'od. When Yaakov comes to Esav, he gets very scared, frightened. But didn't God guarantee him that he's going to watch over him? So it says The answer is it's not a contradiction. Yaakov knew that God would watch over him, but he was worried that maybe because of his sins, God would abandon him a little bit to punish him. Amar Shema Yigrom Achet, Kedetanya Ad Yavor Amcha Asher Amiu Kazanita, Ad Yavor Amcha Hashem Zevira Shona. In the Az Yashir we say that God split the Red Sea for us. He was also supposed to split the Jordan River. Ad Yavor Amzu Kanita Biashniya. In the time of Ezra, God was also supposed to split the Jordan River. But why didn't he do the same magnificent miracle of parting the Red Sea that we speak about every day in our prayer? Mikan amru chachamim re'uyim hayu Yisrael la'asot gam Ezra. God, also in the time of Ezra, there was supposed to be a splitting of the Jordan River, Yarden, kederech shana'asem b'Yoshua ben Nun. I'm sorry. In the time of Joshua, it was split. But when the Jews were coming from Babylonia back to Israel, in the time of Ezra, it also should have been split. But why didn't they merit to do that? Ela shagara machet. In the time of Ezra, the Jews were not as righteous, so only for Yehoshua the Jordan split river, which was like the size of the Mississippi. It was not like it's now a tiny river, but since they didn't have the zechut, that's why it didn't happen. Now, till what time can you say Shema every night? Till dawn. But the Chachamim say no. Try to do it by midnight at the latest because they want to make you stay far away from sin. Chachamim keman svira lahu, ki Rabbi Elazar svira lahu lema ki Rabbi Elazar. Who do the rabbis hold like? Do they hold like that you only have till the first third of the night, which is Rabbi Elazar? So let them say like that.